It was a humid July evening in downtown Miami, the kind of sticky, restless night where even the ocean breeze felt heavy. Ethan Parker, 28, sat on the small balcony of his apartment, sipping cheap wine from a coffee mug. Below him, the city buzzed with life. Neon signs flickered, couples laughed, and the smell of salt and gasoline filled the air. Inside, his girlfriend Madison Hayes was humming to herself, folding her clothes into a brand-new rose-gold suitcase they had picked out together just a month ago. She was leaving tomorrow for a girls' trip to Cancun. Ethan had insisted she treat herself. She deserved it, he thought. After all, Madison had been talking about how stressed she was at work. Madison was a vision, even in sweatpants, messy blonde hair tied in a knot, a silver anklet she never took off, and that magnetic smile that had pulled Ethan in from the first moment they'd met at a mutual friend's rooftop party 18 months ago. Yet tonight, something gnawed at him. It wasn't just the heat or the loneliness creeping up from the corners of his mind. It was something else, something unspoken. "Did you pack the sunscreen?" Ethan called out lazily, swirling the wine. "Yep, all set," Madison answered, a little too cheerily. "And don't worry about money, babe. I'm using my own savings." That comment made Ethan's eyebrow twitch. Her own savings? Madison didn't really save. She barely made rent. She often leaned on Ethan for little things, groceries, Uber rides, even her phone bill last month. He dismissed the thought as uncharitable. Maybe she'd squirreled away a little, he reasoned. Besides, love was about trust. Ethan had always believed that. Hadn't he? Tyler, Ethan's closest friend since college, wasn't so sure. Earlier that week, Tyler had casually mentioned over beers, "Bro, you sure you're cool with Maddie hanging out with those friends you've never met? Cancun's like romantic central." Ethan had laughed it off. Tyler was single and bitter. Madison wasn't like that. Still, the mug slipped slightly in Ethan's hand, wet from condensation. He stared at Madison through the sliding glass door. She was texting someone, smiling at her screen. When she caught him looking, she quickly locked her phone and flashed him a sweet, innocent grin. "Love you, babe," she said, walking over to kiss him on the forehead. He smiled back automatically, even though a small knot tightened in his gut. Later that night, lying next to Madison, Ethan found it hard to sleep. Her breathing was soft and even beside him, yet his mind raced. He kept thinking about the odd way she had smiled at her phone. The way she kept her phone screen tilted away. The random new friends she never introduced him to. A soft buzz lit up the room briefly, Madison's phone vibrating on the nightstand. Ethan glanced over. Just a glimpse. Just curiosity. He told himself he wasn't snooping, just being careful. The notification preview read, "Tyler. Can't wait to see you, babe. Pack the red one." Tyler? No, not his Tyler. Another Tyler? Madison's ex was named Tyler too, but that was ancient history. She had assured Ethan of that when they first started dating. The blood drained from Ethan's face. He could hear his own heart pounding in his ears. He told himself it had to be a joke. A coincidence. Maybe a prank? Maybe it was a girlfriend's nickname? Maybe he was reading too much into it? He turned to Madison, who mumbled something in her sleep and nestled closer to him, unaware of the storm brewing inside his mind. Ethan closed his eyes, forcing himself to breathe. He had no proof of anything, no right to jump to conclusions. Besides, Madison loved him. Didn't she? The morning light streamed in through the flimsy blinds, cutting across Ethan's face and forcing him awake. Madison was already bustling around the apartment, her duffel bags zipped up and ready by the door. She looked radiant, wearing an oversized Miami Vibes t-shirt and denim shorts, her hair tied back in a messy bun. "You sure you don't need a ride to the airport?" Ethan offered, still feeling the lingering unease from the night before. No, Ashley's picking me up." "You sleep in, babe," she chirped, tossing a playful wink over her shoulder. Ashley. Another friend Ethan had never met. He tried to smile, but it felt mechanical. "All right. Have fun, Mads." "I will. Love you." She blew him a kiss and was out the door before he could even stand up properly. Ethan sat back on the couch, staring at the door. Something about the way she rushed out. It wasn't just excitement for a vacation. It felt like she was running from something, or towards something. Trying to shake the paranoia, he decided to clean up a bit. Maybe some mundane chores would distract his spiraling mind. As he gathered Madison's forgotten receipts from the kitchen counter, one small folded slip caught his eye. Curious, Ethan unfolded it. It was a printed itinerary. 2 airline tickets. First class. Destination: Cancun. Passenger names: Madison Hayes, Tyler Brooks. Ethan's throat closed up. His vision blurred for a second as a wave of nausea hit him. Tyler Brooks. Her ex. The one she had cried over for months before finally moving on with Ethan. The one she had said was toxic, controlling, and completely out of her life. His hands shook as he stared at the itinerary. The flight left in 2 hours. First-class tickets. Where the hell did Madison get that kind of money? His mind raced back to last month. The new clothes, the fancy dinner she suggested, the sudden interest in taking vacations. Ethan had paid for most of it. Madison had sweet-talked him into giving her access to one of his credit cards, just for emergencies. Had she been planning this all along? Desperation rising, Ethan opened his banking app. His heart sank as he scrolled through the recent transactions. $2,800, Aventura Travel Agency. $400, La Rosa Boutique. $650, Luxury Spa Miami. All within the last 2 weeks. All charged to his card. All without his knowledge. He felt like the ground beneath him was cracking open. In a blind panic, Ethan tried calling Madison. Straight to voicemail. He texted, "Ethan, Maddie, call me. It's urgent." No response. He called Tyler's number. Yes, he still had it saved from back when Madison showed him a screenshot of Tyler's crazy late-night texts, trying to get her back. This time, the line rang. And then Tyler answered, casual as hell. "Yo." Ethan gripped the phone tighter. "Where's Madison?" he barked. A pause. Then a low chuckle. "Who's this?" "You know damn well who this is. Where the hell are you taking her?" "Relax, man. She wanted this." "You were just the wallet," Tyler said, his voice dripping with smug satisfaction. "Now, if you'll excuse me, I have a flight to catch." The line went dead. Ethan stood frozen, the phone still pressed to his ear, even though the call had ended. His breath came in short, ragged bursts. He felt exposed, humiliated, and furious all at once. He stumbled back onto the couch, burying his face in his hands. The living room felt too big, too empty. For the first time in their entire relationship, Ethan truly questioned whether he had ever known Madison at all. Had every smile been fake? Every touch calculated? Was he just a placeholder until she found a way to reconnect with her past? A deep, gnawing pain settled into his chest, but underneath it, something colder began to rise, a need for answers. He wasn't just going to sit here and be humiliated. If Madison thought she could use him and walk away clean, she was wrong. Opening his laptop, Ethan began to dig. Emails, bank records, social media. Everywhere Madison had left a breadcrumb, he would find it. He discovered private emails she had sent from a different account, messages full of endearments to Tyler, secret plans about running away and starting fresh. He found hidden photo albums on her cloud storage, recent pictures of Madison and Tyler meeting at a local bar, her grinning up at him, leaning into his chest. Each discovery was a stab to the heart. But it also steeled Ethan's resolve. He wasn't crazy. He wasn't paranoid. And he damn sure wasn't going to let this go quietly. As he clicked through the final folder, one image froze him in place. A snapshot, taken just days ago, of Madison holding up Ethan's credit card with a sly smile, Tyler giving a thumbs up in the background. The caption read, "Thanks for the free ride, sucker. Cancun, here we come." Ethan's hands clenched into fists. Madison had betrayed him in the worst possible way. Used him. Laughed about it. But she underestimated him. She thought he was just another naive, love-blind fool. She was wrong. Very wrong. The apartment walls felt like they were closing in, suffocating Ethan with every breath he took. He slammed the laptop shut, the sound echoing like a gunshot in the silence. His heart thundered in his chest, not with sadness anymore, but pure, unfiltered rage. He couldn't sit here and do nothing. He needed answers. He needed confrontation. Throwing on a hoodie and grabbing his car keys, Ethan stormed out of the apartment, his mind a hurricane of betrayal and hurt. He didn't know exactly where he was going. He just knew he had to start somewhere. First stop, Madison's best friend, Haley Cooper. If anyone knew the truth, it would be her. He drove across town like a madman, tires screeching at every turn. When he pulled up outside Haley's townhouse, he barely remembered parking before he was banging on her door. Haley opened it, wide-eyed and startled. "Ethan? Jesus, what's going on? Where is she?" Ethan demanded, his voice cracking under the pressure. "Who?" Haley frowned, stepping back a little. "Madison. Where the hell is she really?" Haley crossed her arms defensively. "She's on a girls' trip with Ashley and Jenna." "Why are you freaking out?" "There is no Ashley. There is no Jenna. She's in Cancun. With Tyler." Haley's mouth opened, then closed, her expression faltering. "She knew." "You knew," Ethan whispered, the realization hitting like a sucker punch. Haley avoided his gaze, guilt written all over her face. I mean, she said it was complicated," Haley stammered. "She said she needed space. Tyler was helping her figure things out. I thought you knew." "Bullshit," Ethan spat. "You covered for her. You lied for her." Haley's face hardened. "Maybe you should ask yourself why she needed to lie." Ethan stared at her, speechless. The nerve. The sheer gall. He turned on his heel and stormed back to his car, ignoring Haley's half-hearted calls after him. Driving aimlessly now, Ethan's mind played a cruel montage of all the lies Madison had spun. Every "I love you," every whispered promise. All fake. All part of a bigger game. By the time he pulled into a deserted beach parking lot, the sky was a bleeding orange, the sun sinking into the horizon. He sat there, engine idling, mind racing. What now? Expose her? Confront her? Or walk away and nurse his shattered pride in silence? No. He needed closure. He needed Madison to look him in the eyes and admit it. He scrolled through her Instagram, nothing new. Checked Tyler's Facebook, nothing posted. But then, through mutual friend stories, he struck gold. A grainy video clip of Madison and Tyler, arms around each other, margaritas in hand, swaying to a live band at a beachfront bar. The caption, "Reunited and it feels so good, #Cancun Nights." Ethan's blood boiled. He could even hear Madison's laughter in the background, a sound that once melted his heart, now stabbing through him like a dagger. His hands shook as he screen-recorded the clip, saving it like evidence. He was about to close the app when a DM notification popped up. From an unknown account. "You deserve better. She's been planning this for months. Check your bank account again." Ethan's pulse spiked. Who was this? Another friend? A stranger? Without wasting time, he logged into his bank account. And there it was. A brand new transaction. $9,200, Ocean Breeze Resort, Cancun. She hadn't just used him for tickets. She had paid for their entire week-long stay, luxury suite, all-inclusive, spa packages, everything, using his money. Everything inside Ethan snapped. He couldn't just be another story Madison laughed about with Tyler over cocktails. He needed to make sure she felt the weight of what she had done. Opening a private browser, Ethan began researching. How to freeze a joint credit card. How to file fraud claims. How to lock accounts remotely. In minutes, he had frozen every card Madison had access to. By the time she would realize it, it would be too late. No more free dinners. No more luxury massages. No more spa days paid for by him. Just debt. Just consequences. The sun was almost gone now, and the beach was bathed in a haunting blue twilight. Ethan sat back in his seat, a twisted mixture of satisfaction and heartbreak curling inside him. His phone buzzed. A new message. This time, from Madison herself. "Madison. Hey babe, everything okay? Just checking in, face blowing a kiss." Ethan stared at the screen, stunned. The audacity. She wasn't even going to come clean. She was going to keep lying, pretending everything was normal, while she sipped piña coladas with her ex on his dime. He took a shaky breath, fingers hovering over the keyboard. Should he confront her now? Wait till she came back and humiliate her in person? Send her the receipts, the screenshots, the videos? A low laugh escaped him, a sound he barely recognized as his own. Either way, Madison Hayes had no idea the storm that was coming for her. And Ethan was done playing the fool. The headlights from another car illuminated his rearview mirror, snapping him out of his vengeful reverie. A black SUV pulled into the lot, parking a few spaces away. Ethan watched, curious and slightly alarmed, as a figure stepped out.
Tall. Male.
Hoodie pulled low over his face. The man seemed to hesitate, then stalked, toward Ethan's car. Something wasn't right. A prickling sensation ran up Ethan's spine. He reached for the pepper spray he kept in the glove compartment, just in case. The man came closer. Closer. Ethan locked the doors. The man paused a few feet away, lifting his hands slightly, as if to show he meant no harm. Then, in a low, urgent voice, he said, "You don't know the half of it, man. Madison's not just playing you. She's playing him too." Ethan's heart slammed against his ribs. "What are you talking about?" he demanded through the window. The man glanced nervously over his shoulder, then leaned in. "She's dangerous," he hissed. "You need to get away. Before it's too late." Before Ethan could react, the man dropped something on his windshield. A USB drive, then sprinted back to his SUV and roared out of the lot, tires screeching. Ethan sat frozen, staring at the tiny device glinting under the streetlights. A new, darker layer to the betrayal unfolding before him. What was on that drive? What more could Madison be hiding? The cold dread pooling in his gut told him he wasn't ready for the answers. But he had no choice now. He had to know. Ethan sat motionless for a full minute, staring at the USB drive through the windshield like it might detonate. His hands trembled as he finally reached for it, the plastic cold and smooth against his fingertips. Sliding it into his laptop felt like crossing some invisible line, past the point of no return. He held his breath as the screen flickered and a single folder popped open, labeled, "For your eyes only."
Click.
Inside were dozens of files, videos, screenshots, bank records, messages. The first video played automatically, shaky phone footage, like someone filming secretly. It showed Madison sitting across from Tyler at a crowded cafe, animated and laughing. But it wasn't the flirting that made Ethan's stomach churn. It was the words. "You're so easy to manipulate," Madison was saying, twirling her straw between her fingers. "Poor Ethan thinks he's going to marry me one day. Meanwhile, he's footing the bill for our dream vacation." Tyler laughed, clinking his glass against hers. "You're evil," he said mockingly. Madison winked. "Only when I need to be." The screen blurred slightly as whoever was filming shifted, then Madison's next words came clear as day. "Once we're back, I'll string him along a few more months. Maybe even get a new car out of it. Then bye-bye." Ethan slammed the laptop shut, nausea rising like a tidal wave. It wasn't just betrayal. It was premeditated, cold, calculated. Every "I love you," every kiss, every tearful apology for being busy. A performance. His mind raced with plans, revenge, confrontation, public exposure, each thought darker than the last. But more than anger, there was heartbreak. He had loved her. He would have given her the world. And she saw him as nothing more than a piggy bank with a heartbeat. The next morning, Ethan's plan crystallized with brutal clarity. No angry texts. No dramatic phone calls. Face-to-face. Public. Unforgettable. He waited until he knew Madison would be back. Her flight details had been easy enough to find once he hacked her email account. Sunday evening. Arriving at LAX. Ethan stood outside baggage claim, heart pounding like a war drum. In his hand, he held a simple sign. "Welcome home, Madison Hayes, fraud queen." He didn't have to wait long. Through the sliding doors came Madison, dragging a pink suitcase, Tyler trailing smugly behind her. At first, she didn't notice the sign. But Tyler did. His smirk faded. He tapped Madison's arm and pointed. She turned.
Saw Ethan. Saw the sign.
Saw the crowd beginning to notice, whispering, filming. Her face drained of color. "Ethan," she gasped, dropping her suitcase with a clatter. What are you doing?" Ethan's voice was steady, colder than ice. "Just welcoming you back from your little girl's trip. Hope it was worth it." Madison rushed forward, her hands outstretched in a pleading gesture. "Listen, I can explain." "No need." Ethan cut her off, raising his voice. "Everyone meet Madison Hayes. She used my money to take her ex-boyfriend on a luxury vacation while lying to me for months." Gasps rippled through the growing crowd. Phones pointed at them, capturing every second. Madison's eyes darted around frantically. "Please, Ethan, not here," she whispered harshly. Tears welled up in her eyes, but Ethan recognized them now for what they were: weapons. No different than her kisses or sweet words. All tools. All fake. "You're lucky I'm not pressing charges," Ethan said. Yet. Tyler stepped forward, face red with anger.
"Man, chill out."
"You're making a scene." Ethan laughed bitterly. "Yeah? Maybe you two can share a jail cell once fraud charges stick." He pulled his phone from his pocket, waving it casually. "Got everything saved. Receipts, videos, the whole show. Courtesy of someone who actually has a conscience." Madison crumbled then, falling to her knees right there on the pavement.
Real tears this time.
Not for Ethan. For herself. For the empire of lies crashing down around her. Security guards approached, their radios crackling. A woman in a suit asked Ethan to lower his voice, but he complied easily. He had made his point.
Publicly.
Irrevocably. As he walked away, leaving Madison sobbing and Tyler cursing behind him, Ethan felt lighter than he had in months. Not victorious. Not joyful. But free. He tossed the homemade sign into a trash can as he exited the terminal. The sunset painted the sky in streaks of fire and gold, as if the universe itself were applauding his escape. But as he slid into his car and pulled away from the chaos, Ethan's phone buzzed again. A new message. From an unknown number. "You think this is over? She's just the tip of the iceberg. Be careful who you trust next time." Ethan frowned, adrenaline surging again. What did that mean? Who else had been playing him? Was there more he didn't know? The road ahead blurred under the spinning questions in his mind. Maybe Madison was just the beginning. Maybe the real enemy was still out there, smiling in the shadows. And maybe Ethan's war was just getting started. Ethan didn't sleep that night. The message echoed in his mind like a ticking time bomb. "You think this is over?" He stared at the ceiling in the darkness, the shadows crawling like restless spirits. Madison was just one betrayal. How deep did the rabbit hole go? Morning sunlight finally broke through the blinds, but it brought no comfort. It only sharpened his resolve. He opened his laptop again, scanning through old texts, receipts, photos, anything that seemed off. And slowly, horrifyingly, a pattern began to emerge. It wasn't just Madison. It was their entire shared circle. Their mutual friends, Logan, Rachel, even Brian, people Ethan thought he could trust.
Had they known?
Had they helped? One chat log caught his eye. Rachel and Madison joking about how easy Ethan was, laughing over wine emojis and screenshots of his desperate, trusting messages. Another file. A Venmo transfer from Ethan's account, authorized mysteriously late one night months ago, straight into Tyler's bank account. For repairs, apparently. He remembered that night. Madison had borrowed his phone because her battery was dead. She must have used it then. The betrayal wasn't isolated. It was systemic.
It was a game.
He had been their pawn. The realization hollowed him out. He sat frozen, the screen's harsh light washing over him, burning every ugly truth into his memory. Ethan closed his laptop slowly, methodically. He didn't smash it. He didn't cry. Something colder had settled inside him. A steely, silent clarity. Later that afternoon, he made 3 decisions. First, he filed a police report for financial fraud against Madison and Tyler. It was a long shot, but even planting a seed of legal consequence was worth it. Second, he sent an anonymous email blast to everyone in their circle. The video, the screenshots, the proof. No explanations. No angry rants. Just facts. Let them squirm. Let them betray each other now. Third, he booked a one-way flight. Out of Los Angeles. Out of the toxic maze of lies. Out of the wreckage. Destination, New York City. As he packed his few essentials, Ethan paused to look around the apartment. Every corner held a memory he no longer trusted. Every gift Madison had ever given him felt poisoned. He threw most of it into trash bags without hesitation. Somewhere in the chaos, he found a framed photo of them together, her arms around his neck, her smile radiant and false. He stared at it for a long moment. Then he snapped the frame in half and threw it into the bin. Closure, in its own brutal way. At the airport that night, Ethan sat quietly at the gate, watching planes lift into the purple sky. His heart wasn't healed. It wasn't even close. But it was beating with new purpose. He knew trust would come slowly, if at all. He knew paranoia would linger like a scar. And he accepted that. Pain had been his teacher. Deception had been his awakening. A final boarding call echoed through the terminal. He stood, shouldering his worn backpack. As he walked toward the future, he didn't look back once. Months later, the city pulsed around him with energy and anonymity. New York was perfect, fast, chaotic, alive. No one cared who you were yesterday, only what you were today. Ethan worked freelance jobs, kept his head down, rebuilt his life brick by brick. Each day was a small, stubborn victory. He made a few cautious connections, acquaintances, not friends yet. Trust was still a locked door inside him. But there were good days. Days when laughter didn't feel foreign. Days when betrayal felt like a distant bruise instead of an open wound. And sometimes he wondered about Madison. What had become of her? A quick, guilty search one night revealed an Instagram profile. Private. A new name. Few followers. No pictures of Tyler. No smiling brunch selfies. Nothing that suggested a perfect life. Ethan closed the app with a hollow shrug. She was irrelevant now. A ghost. A bad dream fading with the dawn. One evening, sitting at a small cafe on 8th Avenue, Ethan's phone buzzed. An unknown number again. His heart kicked once, but curiosity got the better of him. He opened it. Healing doesn't mean forgetting. It means surviving without the weight. You're doing better than you think. Keep going. No sender. No reply option. He smiled, a real smile this time, small and painful and beautiful. Maybe it was a mistake. Maybe it was spam. Maybe it was fate. He didn't need to know. For once, uncertainty felt like possibility instead of danger. He pocketed his phone, sipped his coffee, and let the city move around him, vast and endless. Tomorrow was another day, and Ethan was ready for it.